Ronald Fisher was born February 17th of 1890 and was a statistician and geneticist who delved into the field of biostatistics. He created statistical principles that combine natural selection with Mendelian genetics and is considered one of the most important 20th century statisticians. He is one of the founders of population genetics, in which he developed theories on sexual selection, created a few of his own theories known as the Fisher's principle, the Fisherian runaway, and the sexy son hypothesis, and contributed to principles on experimental design, maximum likelihood, and fiducial inference. This is a rotating picture of Ronald Fisher graduating from Cambridge in 1912. Fisher contributed a vast number of his own theories and concepts to the biostatistical field, which included the Fisherian runaway, Fisher's principle, Fisher's fundamental theorem of natural selection, Fisher's geometric model, and the sexy son hypothesis, as well as having thoughts on certain concepts such as parental investment, reproductive value, mimicry, dominance, and heterozygote advantage. So one of Fisher's most prominently known concepts or theories was the sexy son hypothesis, which was proposed in 1930, and it states that a female's ideal mate choice among potential mates is ones whose genes will produce male offspring with the best chance of reproductive success. So basically, a female chooses who they're gonna have their children with based on believing that that partner will produce attractive offspring. So as you see, we have a female right here, and according to Fisher's principle, this female is going to look for a male that will give her the most attractive offspring to her later on in the future. So you see we have our male right here who is then going to mate with the female, which in turn will create attractive offspring in the future to the female, as seen here. So many of the concepts and the ideas that Ronald Fisher brought to light are things we use today. We even use them this year in AP Stats. So one of them is maximum likelihood, which is estimating the parameters of a model given only a partial or like a sample of the data. So if we're trying to find like shoe sizes for the population of America, well, it's not practical to try and find all those shoe sizes. So using maximum likelihood, you can find the mean and the standard deviation or the variance from the data you've found, and assuming that the sample you've taken is normally distributed, you can find parametric values that make the observed results the most probable given the normal model. In 1925, Fisher published Statistical Methods for Research Workers, and he also popularized the use of a p-value, which is something statisticians all across the world use today when doing research for something. And he just proposed the idea that having a p-value of 0.05 would be like having the selected data results you have happening by chance only 1 out of 20 times, which is a very important contribution to the statistical world. So I know right now you're just so interested in my video, and Ronald Fisher just intrigues you so much that you want to go home and tell your parents about him. But before you think he's all such a great guy and all that jazz, he was a very prominent supporter of using eugenics to address social and scientific issues. He felt that families that had more children shouldn't be given financial benefits from the government, as it decreased quality of life. And when asked the race question in 1950 at some sort of convention, he is quoted with saying that human groups differ profoundly in their innate capacity for intellectual and emotional development. So that's my interesting sidebar.